Live from the Tank on this College of Staten Island campus, CSI Sportsnets present exclusive NCAA Division III women's basketball coverage. Tonight's matchup features the Medgar Evers Cougars against CSI Dolphins. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Arthur Kapitanakis, joined by Mike Baybuski, bringing you all of today's action live from half court. And today the Dolphins are coming off of a win over the York Cardinals this Saturday. That's one of a four-game win streak following an earlier loss to Brooklyn. So I'll welcome in my broadcast partner, Mike. What are you expecting from today's game?
Well, you know, Arthur, as you mentioned, the Dolphins coming in, playing very well in the conference. They bounced back with 4 consecutive wins after dropping that game to Brooklyn College. And, you know, they're going to pick things up here this afternoon. They're going to play against a undermanned Medgar Evers team, and you know it'll make for an interesting opportunity for the Dolphins to come out and get themselves in shape and get ready for the 3 final games in the conference against Hunter, Brooklyn, and Lehman. That's where the division is going to really be decided, Arthur. And it's the games that the Dolphins are going to be gearing up for. You mentioned before they're coming off of a big win against York College. It was a game that we had right here for you on CSI Sportsnet, and a game that really wasn't in doubt. Christina Pasatol came out, shot 9 of 12 in that game and picked up 21 points in 23 minutes. And, it was that kind of day for the Dolphins against a York team that still is in the developmental stage and is still looking to get better. And, against a Medgar Evers team that's still looking for their first win, Arthur, and just has 6 players out on the floor, it could be a long night for the Cougars.
Yeah, so we should expect something pretty similar to Saturday's result with the Dolphin starters looking to get out to an early lead and plenty of time for the reserves to get some minutes in here. Looking back at the past history, the last Cougar victory over the Dolphins was back in 2007. And since then, the Dolphins are on a 22-game winning streak. Previously this season on January 9th, the Dolphins doubled up the Cougars. It was 92-41 earlier on in the season. So if that's anything to go by, should be a fairly easy night and a fairly light night for the starters today, Mike.
Yeah, every game is an opportunity, Arthur, as you know, as a head coach, is to learn and go out and get to do different things and work and get better. And, that it'll be an opportunity here tonight for the Dolphins to do those things. And, a little bit of a gap in the schedule here. Both the Dolphins will not be back in action until a week from tonight. So they'll have one game here this evening to play against Medgar Evers, and then a week off before the home game against Hunter on February 6th, and then the 2 games that are going to decide the CUNY Conference, especially the last game against Brooklyn College on February 8th, could be the key to determining whether or not the Dolphins can win the regular season championship.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Of course, all to play for here. I'm sure Coach Shanahan will enjoy the little break to rev up the squad for that final home stretch. Hunter College was a 15-point victory earlier. This was on the road in Manhattan earlier in the season. But Brooklyn and Lehman were 2 tough matches. So one thing about this Dolphins team that's pretty interesting, Mike, they've only had 5 single-digit games out of 20. So a lot of these games have been blowout wins. They haven't had a double-digit loss. The 2 close wins were against NYU and that Lehman squad, a Lehman squad that we will see again on February 10th to close out the season. The losses to Wagner, MIT, and Brooklyn. So a 2-3 record in those 5 single-digit games. But outside of that, the average margin is a 25-point victory for the Dolphins. So that we'll probably see more of that today. And then Coach Shanahan will look to use that week break to rev his team up for what should be 3 pretty well-contested games to close out the conference slate.
Yeah, Arthur, you mentioned the dominance of the Dolphins in most of these games. They're averaging just over 79 points a game, and they've allowed just 53.5, and that's a huge differential of 25.5 points a game, and you're going to win a lot of basketball games that way. So, Dolphins coming in, playing very well. We've mentioned repeatedly throughout the year what a veteran-laden team this is, what an experienced team is, and a very focused team that's really concentrating on getting right back to where they were last year, which is the CUNYAC Championship and a bid in the NCAA tournament. And, the road to that really starts tonight, Arthur. It really starts in every game that they play. There are just 4 regular season games left. All 4 of them are big. All 4 of them are opportunities for the Dolphins to get better. And then the season will get decided, as always, in the CUNYAC Championships.
That's right. And we said it many times, but it's worth noting that the Dolphins are still in control of their own destiny. If they run the table in the conference, they will be regular season champions. That's a feat they did not accomplish last year, although they did, of course, win the end of season championships. And here we get a look at the CUNYAC standings. So the Dolphins right now, 1 game in the win column atop of Brooklyn. However, that 1 loss did come to Brooklyn, so the tiebreaker would go to the Bulldogs with that rematch looming on February 8th.
Again, you look at the standings. Brooklyn are very impressive, 18-2. The Dolphins an impressive 17-3. And, a lot of CUNYAC action around the conference tonight, Arthur. And the big game, of course, for CSI Dolphin fans is a rapidly improving CCNY team going on the road to play against Brooklyn College tonight. The rest of the action will be Hunter traveling to York and Lehman at Baruch. So some important conference games taking place here tonight. Again, if you're a CSI Dolphin fan, you have a special eye in Brooklyn where the Beavers are coming into town. And Beavers have been playing well, have upped their conference record to 7-5. And, if they could upset Brooklyn, Arthur, that would be a big swing in the CUNYAC standings.
Yeah, that would make things interesting, giving them that all-important second loss. But looking at the Dolphin squad, so for today's matchup and really across this latest winning streak, a lot of the Dolphins' success has been from strong defense leading to offense, and the Dolphins force 29 turnovers a game, 16 of those turnovers being steals on the Dolphins' part, leading to 32 points off turnovers. And here's the kicker. Those 32.5 points represent 40% of all the Dolphins' scoring. So 40% of all the Dolphins' offense comes off turnovers. So just really shows you how much they really keen on that defensive end.
Yeah, and Arthur, anytime we talk to the coaches or the players, it's always the same thing. Defense comes first, and it's reflected in those numbers that you're talking about.
That's right. So again, we'll see how long the starters stay in tonight and what's expected to be fairly quick lead for the Dolphins here. The 2 Dolphin starters that do see the major minutes, of course, Chrissy Pastore with 33 minutes per game and senior Samantha Flucker with 30. So we'll see if they quite reach those heights today. So with that in mind, we have got about 5 minutes until player intros and the tip. So we will step aside for a moment here. You're watching coverage of women's basketball here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
There's something delicious happening this season at Tim Hortons, and it's only 99 cents. Get a rich, decadent hot chocolate or creamy French vanilla for the sweet price of 99 cents. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
And we're back here at the tank, just a few minutes away from tip-off here as the CSI Dolphins take on the Medgar Evers Cougars here in women's basketball. And before we get to the tip, we'll spend a few minutes just discussing the Cougars. As you can see here, they've had a rough go of it this year, 0-20 and 0-11 in the conference. Still looking for their first win. The closest they have come to a victory this year was January 22nd, so just over a week ago against York College. That was on the road, a 7-point loss, 72-65. That's the closest they've come to a win. Mike, what do you have on the Cougars here?
Yeah, obviously it's a developmental Cougars program, Arthur. They're coming in. No seniors on this team. 4 freshman players in the starting lineup. So they're a team that's going young with young coach Delroy Ennis taking over the program. And obviously a lot of development for a Medgar Evers team that's coming out with just 6 players out on the floor here today. And for the Cougars that have been struggling to begin with, they lost their best offensive player who just got an opportunity to play in a couple of games. So right now they're being led by their one non-freshman in the starting lineup, Cindy White. Cindy coming in averaging 12.5 points a game and over 6.5 rebounds. And then Malika Davis, who's also in the starting lineup for the Cougars as well, Arthur, averaging double digits at just over 10 points and 5 rebounds. So, again, a young, developing Cougar program playing against a Dolphin team that is grinding themselves and getting ready to play for a CUNYAC championship.
That's right. And Davis, the freshman guard, as you mentioned, also leads the team on the defensive end with 2 steals per game. As far as assists, junior guard Janisha Carrington with just under 3 assists per game. And looks like the Cougars have 6 players dressed tonight out of their roster of 8. Dolphins have their full squad, as we have come to expect. So with that, we will get ready to step aside here for the national anthem, and we will come back with starting lineups ahead of Dolphins basketball here on CSI Sportsnet.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome. I think we're breathtaking. And here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that Bran? Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together.
Go to GetSchooled.com for more info.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
And we're back as we get set to introduce the starting lineups here at the Tank. Take a look here at the Medgar Evers Cougars as they will be the first to be introduced to the crowd. On your screen you see the Dolphins here getting ready for this conference matchup. And for the Medgar Evers Cougars, our starters will be, as you see on your screen here, the freshman guard, Malika Davis, freshman guard, Destiny Simmons, another freshman center forward, Elizabeth Figueroa, the leading scorer, junior, Cindy White, and finally, freshman guard, Sharina Meller. So that'll be the Medgar Evers lineup. They are coached by Delroy Ennis, again looking for their first win in the conference and overall today. And we'll switch it over to your CSI Dolphins. And it's become a starting lineup that we've gotten used to here with Jackie Cali out, Diana Tadaro taking her spot. At guard is Christina Passaturo, number 10, Angelique Price, guard number 14, Victoria Cray, number 13, Diana Tadaro at forward, and rounding it out is Samantha Flucker, number 31, a forward. So Mike, this is the starting lineup we've seen in this 4-game win streak. They've been pretty hot out of the gates, and I'm sure they'll look to do that again today. What do you think you'll see here early on?
Yeah, Arthur, I think the Dolphins are going to come out and try to run their normal sets and run their normal offense and see how it goes. Again, Cougars coming in with just 6 players here tonight, and it's going to be a challenge for them to deal with this Dolphin team that, again, Arthur, is in the process of getting ready for the CUNYAC Championships. This is their only game for the next 7 days. So I expect the Dolphins to come out and play their normal offense and defense here at the start of tonight's game. Yeah, no need to worry about minutes or anything like that. No need to rest up for any looming games. We've got a nice week off to recharge and regroup for that home stretch. So look for the Dolphins to be coming all out right from the opening tip here tonight against the Cougars. Yeah, and the Dolphins led, of course, by Christina Passatore and 23.5 points a game. She's having a fabulous senior year for the CSI Dolphins, also averaging over 6 rebounds a game as well. So Dolphins are going to come out, as we mentioned, with their normal starting 5 and come out and play a strong first half of the quarter here, and then we'll take it from there. Yeah, remember against York on Saturday, the Dolphins exploded 25 points in the first 5 minutes and change. So they were on pace for 200 points at that juncture if they kept that kind of blistering pace up. So I don't know if we'll quite expect that much of an explosion right off the bat, but something similar is not out of the question. As the Cougars make their way onto the floor for the opening tip, will be contested by Flucker for the Dolphins and White for the Cougars. Cougars are going to stay in this game, Arthur. They're going to have to protect the basketball. Early on, Tadaro finds Price down low, and just like that, Dolphins find themselves with a 2-0 lead. Quick 2 points right in the paint. So Davis will bring it up for the Cougars, crossing midway, checked by Price. Dribble handoff to Simmons, checked by Cray. Down low, swallowed up by some Dolphins pressure, knocked loose and picked up by Tadaro with the outlet to Price. The unselfish pass to Flecker for the easy deuce. Yeah, nice defensive sequence there by the Dolphins leads to the layup. More Dolphins pressure as the Cougars get it into White. She'll walk it past the timeline. And a loose ball again picked up by Tadaro. She'll find Price yet again, and it's Price for the layup. And we've got an early timeout by the Cougars, a full timeout. So we'll stick around for a little bit. So we've got 6-0 Tadaro to Price seems to be the connection early on. Yeah, Arthur, we mentioned that the Cougars are coming into today's game averaging 28.5 turnovers a game. And, you knew the Dolphins were going to come out and play strong defense here initially. We've gone less than a minute. The Cougars have turned the ball over 3 times already. And, that's a formula for disaster against this Dolphin team. And, for the Cougars to play with the Dolphins, what they really need to do and it'll be a challenge is to keep possession of the basketball as we have an opportunity to see Price feed Cray for the layup there for her first basket of the game. And, again, if you're the Cougars, you want to run the shot clock down, protect the basketball, and get shots to the basket. If the Dolphins get you playing at a frenetic pace and then turning the ball over, that's going to create problems for the Cougars.
Yeah, that's right. And Tadara with a couple of nice outlets. She has the 1 assist and the 1 hockey assist on the outlet that Price handed off. So strong start for the Dolphins just a minute in. Medgar Evers talking it over, trying to keep this thing from getting out of hand early on here, as we've seen so often at the tank with this Dolphins team. So it'll be Davis inbounding, Flucker to guard, and the Dolphins putting on some pressure. She gets it into Simmons. More of that Dolphins pressure, full court, and Price nearly with the steal. Instead, it's White for the Cougars. And they'll look to reset. It'll be Simmons running point. Calling out a play here. She goes inside to White. And the Cougars' leading scorer puts up a layup, no good. Rebounded by Tadaro, and she'll start the break yet again. Finds Flecker. Out to Cray, who gets tripped down low. First foul of the game called on the Cougars.
Yeah, Victoria went to the ground hard that time, Arthur. Good news is that she appears to be okay.
And she'll take it out and find Passatoro in the corner. Works it back to the top of the arc. Here's Price. And we've got our first 3 of the game from Passatoro, no good. Hauled in by White down low, but her outlet pass batted around, and the Cougars hang on to it. It'll be Simmons calling out a play here. Again, Cray with the early pressure. There's White. She's seen a lot of the ball so far. She takes the shot. No good. Rebound, Cray. She'll start the break. Nice look through traffic to Price, who lays it in for her 6 point.
Sorry, that was a really nice pass by Cray for the assist.
So Price feasting down low. She's got 6 points on 3 layups. Looking to play some defense here. Bats it loose, but the Cougars retain possession. Simmons will call out a play yet again. Looking on Cray. She finds White on the wing. This now Meller. Finds a nice little pass to Davis, whose layup is a little wild, and it's the Dolphins off to the races again. Flecker gets on the board with her 4th point. 10-0 in just 2 minutes and 45 seconds here. White again takes the inbounds pass, walks it up. Dolphins pressure really getting to the Cougars as Passatoro knocks it loose. This one will go out of bounds and stay down here.
You see your fast break points up on your screen, 8-0 in favor of the Dolphins. And even when the Cougars have been able to get back off of the Dolphins, throwing passes right over the top.
And here's some more of that pressure. Cray with the steal, but Davis holds on for the Cougars before turning it over on the sideline here with the loose pass. That pressure really getting to the Cougars here early, Mike.
Yeah, when the Dolphins turn up the defensive pressure, it's tough. And when you have 4 freshmen out on the floor, that makes it doubly tough.
Passatoro's 3, no good, but the Dolphins keep it with Tadaro's rebound and look to reset. Price in the corner. Same spot. Passatoro tries again. This time it's good.
So the all-time leading scorer for the Dolphins adds her first 3-pointer of the night.
You don't want to give her 2 looks at that 3 from the same spot. And it's Davis breaking the press here. The nice crossover. Can't keep the handle though. And Simmons will reset for the Cougars. Her open 3. Off the rim, no good. Flecker brings it up for the Dolphins on the break. Straight to the hoop with the kick. Price to Tadaro, reversing that assist from earlier. And Tadaro gets on the board.
Diana with her first basket of the night.
This time it is White of the Cougars, way over the head of any potential recipient. And the Dolphins with another turnover And a 15-point lead. That's 4 on the day.
You see the turnovers 4-0 on your screen. Cougars also 0 for 4 from the field here so far in the first quarter.
That's Pasatoro again. This time she hits that the first time of asking. And so we've got 4 turnovers and 4 missed field goals from the Cougars. Not how you want to start it out.
Yeah, Price and Pasatoro leading the Dolphins with 6.
Dolphins drop back to the half-court set, but still pressuring the ball here as White is at the top of the key on Tadaro. She'll drive, and she'll get whistled for the travel as she tried to stop and hesitate mid-lane. So now we've got 5 turnovers. More turnovers than shots attempted for the Cougars.
Yeah, nice move that time, but she didn't get the shot up before moving her feet.
Little Cougar pressure as Davids gets a deflection at the top of the key. Quick move from Price, and it's taken away. I believe that was Meller with the steal.
That was a nice defensive play that time by the Cougars, but unfortunately they double dribbled up the floor and turned the ball over right back.
Yeah, so a little pressure for the Cougars gets them a reward, but they turn it right back. And now it's Flucker going to work at the elbow. That's Toto for another 3. She's got it. She's on fire.
Yeah, she is. She's now 3 of 4 from the three-point line. She has 9 points. The Dolphins are third now with an assist on every basket but 1. 8 assists on 9 baskets.
That's right. That latest from Flucker, her second, as Simmons calls out a play for the Cougars. Dolphins dropping back to a 2-3 zone here, it looks like, Mike.
Yep.
Not quite able to break it down as Flucker comes up with the steal. It's Cray around the horn to Price. And on the back post, you've got Tadaro on the block for the N1.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play that time, Arthur, by the Dolphins, getting the ball inside to Tadaro, and she continues to be effective whenever out on the floor. That's her second basket. She has 4 and a chance to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, and she's making the most of this starting berth, as there's no box out at all there from the Cougars. And Flucker takes it, and the Dolphins will reset, working on this 23-point or 23-0 run, you could say. Cray's 3 no good. Flucker with the rebound inside. And the Dolphins will reset.
And, Dolphins getting out in front early, Arthur. And, again, they'll get to work on what they want to work on here this afternoon.
Yeah, very little resistance here from the Cougars. They must be discouraged by this early deficit. It's been a theme for the Dolphins' opponents.
Yeah, and, Arthur, when you have 4 freshmen out on the floor, again, you want to try to see if you can keep them mentally sharp, but it's tough. A few months ago, these were high school kids now playing in Division III college basketball against a pretty good Division III basketball team.
And finally, White able to come down with the rebound to end that possession after 3 offensive boards for the Dolphins. The Cougars have it. A 3 by Simmons is no good. And we'll go back the other way. So, Mike, we talked about that 25 points in 5 minutes on Saturday. Today it's 23 in about 7. Not bad.
Yeah, again, Dolphins coming out and, working against a team that, hasn't really faced a team like the Dolphins that many times. And, it'll be an opportunity for them to learn and get better. But you've seen several flashes from the Cougars out on the floor. And, that's what you're looking to do, develop the program and, develop your freshmen.
That's right, a lot of freshmen, fresh face. And there's a freshman foul there on the three-pointer, giving Price 3 at the line. Foul was on Meller, the freshman guard.
Yeah, it's been a pretty quickly played first quarter here as the Cougars pick up the personal foul, and now it'll be Angelique Price, as you mentioned, Arthur, to shoot 3.
Yeah, and you can see our stat line there: 6 points and a rebound in just 7 minutes. And going back again to Saturday's game, we're going to see a lot of similarities. But what you did like out of the Cardinals on Saturday was after that initial kind of realization that, okay, it's not going to be their day, they're not going to get the win, they regrouped pretty well in the second half, came back and actually won the fourth quarter points-wise. Obviously, still was a pretty heavy loss, but they did outscore the Dolphins in the fourth. So we'll see if Medgar can do something similar here and show a little bit of fight, which if the past few minutes are anything to judge, we might not see that.
Yeah, and, you saw the Cardinals had a couple of pretty good developmental players, and, we're going to have an opportunity to see the Cougars here tonight as well.
So Price hits 2 of 3, and the Dolphins are at a quarter century here. 3 minutes to play here in the first. It will be Simmons walking it up. Davis on the wing, surveying the field. Little give and go into the post. Good attempt, but Tadaro is not fooled by the pivot there. She starts the break to Cray, who will reset. Dolphins around the horn to Flecker. Some good ball movement here. Pasaturo takes the 3. No good, but the rebound is Flecker. Up top to Cray. She'll reset.
So the Dolphins pick up another offensive rebound. That's their 5th of the afternoon.
Some good ball movement there, and that was a pretty tough layup in traffic for Flecker. She gets it to go.
Yeah, Flecker, obviously one of those talented seniors we always talk about, Arthur, coming in, averaging just under 15 points a game and leading the team in rebounds with over 7. So having a great senior year for the Dolphins.
Yeah, that 1-2 punch of Flecker and Pasatoro has been a lot to handle for just about every team the Dolphins have faced all year. There's another stop for the Dolphins taken by Tadaro. Cray will look to orchestrate on the offensive end. Cross court to Pasatoro. Another skip pass. This time it's Price. A lot of back and forth here, really stretching that Cougars defense. Pasatoro follows her shot. Couldn't get the putback to go. And the Cougars will break. They'll slow it down here with their 3 still in the backcourt. And it is Davis now, or I should say Simmons.
Big action on the road at Brooklyn College. Brooklyn coming way out and getting an early 20-point lead on CCNY. So we were kind of hoping to get a little help maybe from the Beavers, Arthur, but they're not off to a good start here tonight.
Yeah, much improved Beaver team, but on the road at the Bulldogs, maybe a little bit too much to ask.
Yeah, you know, that Brooklyn team played a great game against Staten Island and, you know, smartly getting themselves an early lead, which certainly helps when you're playing an up-and-coming team.
Yeah, that's right. As the Dolphins on cruise control around the horn, finally it's Tadaro finding Flecker, and it's really just a matter of who wants to put up the shot at this point. There's really not much resistance from the Cougars defensively. So it's Simmons slowing it down. They're going to look to maybe run some shot clock here and take a final look of the period. Going down low, snuffed out by Tadaro. Outlet's a little long for Price, but she can track it down just barely. And the Dolphins will retain possession on the end line.
So just 7.4 seconds remaining, and if the Dolphins hold for the last shot, the Dolphins will throw a shutout, and I don't remember ever seeing that in the first quarter before.
Yeah, we'll have to check with the sports information office after this one, but this is definitely unheard of here for the Dolphins. All right, so the putback, no good for Flecker, but a great first quarter, 29-0, and we'll get back to you on when the last time the Dolphins had someone shut out for the entirety of opening stanza here. So with that, we'll step aside. 29-0 at the Tank here after 1.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-one physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
And we're back here at the Tank getting ready for the second period, and we've got a fresh 5 out for the Dolphins after the starters played the entirety of the first period. So that's shut out in the first period. We can tell you, we got word from Dave Pizzuto, our sports information director and associate athletic director, that since women's basketball has gone to quarters this is the first shutout first period that is on record for the Dolphins. So great stat to have there, and I'm sure Coach Shanahan and those starters will be proud of that one. And who knows, we'll see how long they can last in the second period.
Yeah, Arthur, an opportunity now for several new starting five to come out for the CSI Dolphins as, we look out on the floor. Elena DiMontro into the game along with Megan McEwen, Rosa Perone checking in, Nicole and Bessie, and Brianna Rubisky for the Dolphins.
Yeah, so we'll see how this second five does. Look for McEwen to really be a focal point running the offense here, as she has been lately in these past few games. So for the Cougars, it's Simmons. She'll get the second period underway, finding White. Finds his way back to Simmons on the wing, looking to create off the dribble. Davis's jumper, no good. She gets her own board. Running jumper, no good. And the Cougars still looking for their first points of the evening here. It's Bessie. Nice little Euro step. Little contact, but no foul called. And Simmons will take it down the court. Little 2-3 zone. The Dolphins sitting back here, content to keep the Cougars in front of them. Top of the key to Davis. She finds Croft, who I believe just checked in. And you can see here the shooting numbers for the... Oh, and there it is. That 0 for 10 now becomes 1 for 11 as the Cougars get on the board.
Yeah, so the Cougars finally get on the scoreboard, Arthur, that's going to be Sydney White with the first points of the game.
Down the other end to stop for the Cougars, so not a bad start to the second period as they have just a little momentum. We'll see how long they can ride it as Simmons sets up the offense. Dolphins still in that 2-3 zone. Top of the key to Meller. She's tied up by a pair of Dolphins. That's McEwen and Rubisky. And the Dolphins have the arrow. And Elena DiMontro will take the inbounds.
Yeah, and we mentioned, Arthur, the subs got a lot of action against York College on over the weekend, and another opportunity here today. They're going to get a lot of minutes, and again, a big opportunity to show the coaches what they can do. They're the future players of the Dolphins out on the floor.
That's right, and that starting lineup, as we've mentioned before, has 4 seniors in it. The only non-senior is Diana Tadaro, and of course Jackie Callie, normally a starter, is also a junior. Here is Bessie, the junior herself, bringing it up. She finds McEwen, thinks about the three, doesn't take it. The Dolphins work the ball around to Perone. Some quick ball movement continues. We got an open three here from DiMontro, no good. Rebound battle around, finds its way to Destiny Simmons. And the Dolphins yet to get on the board here in this second period.
Yeah, both teams going a little cold here through the first 2.5 minutes.
Once again, the leading scorer, White, looks to create off the dribble. Her layup is no good, and it looks like it was partially deflected, and Bessie will bring it up. Lead pass to McEwen, whose open three is a little bit long. Perone skies for the rebound, but it's taken down by Meller. And the Cougars will reset. It's Davis off the dribble. Feeds Simmons. Back to Davis with the deep two. And she got it to go.
Nice looking shot that time by Davis. Second basket of the game for the Cougars.
So now Davis and White on the board for the Cougars as the Dolphins look to get on the board for their first time in the second period. It's McEwen on the wing into Perone. She drives hard and is fouled down low. Nice aggressive move there by Perone, Mike.
Yeah, Perone took that one to the basket hard and was able to draw the foul, the first foul of the second quarter. So that will send Perone to the free throw line here to shoot 2.
So after a 29-0 first quarter, the Cougars start with a quick 4 points in the second, and the Dolphins in 3.5 minutes looking for their first points here, hopefully off the second Perone free throw.
Rosa, a 43% free throw shooter coming into the game tonight.
Second free throw is up and no good, taken down by Meller. So the Dolphins still yet to get off the schneid here in the second. Simmons will bring it up.
As we've lost, the scoreboards have just gone off, so that's why the officials blew the whistle, and they are completely dead, but now they're completely back.
So a little bit of a scare there, but looks like everything is back in order. We see here the free throw shooting on the day. Dolphins 2 for 6. So not a great percentage, but at least they've been getting to the line a fair amount in what has been not a very physical game from the Cougars.
Yeah, again, the Dolphins came out and, really put pressure on the Cougars, built up an early lead, and now we're going from there as we have a whistle.
Looks like the shot clock maybe was a little bit off after that reset of the scoreboard. So it'll be Davis to inbound it as the shot clock is reset down to 20. And Simmons will run the point. Not quite. Got another issue here. Looks like it's related to the scoreboard.
Yeah, I know it's with the shot clock, so they're still good. They're still working on fixing it.
So at the 6:30 mark in the second period, we've said Medgar Evers with a 4-0 lead. So after really looking dispirited throughout much of that first period, first quarter, they've come out pretty strong here in the second, Mike.
Yeah, they've played well, and, the Dolphins offense hasn't really been running that well here in the second quarter. As you mentioned, they haven't gotten a point yet, and we played 3.5 minutes. So I'm sure not what head coach Tim Shanahan is looking for from his second group of players, but, get an opportunity to keep on playing.
It's White for the Cougars, taken by McEwen. Running down with Robisky. Her layup is good.
Beautiful look away past that time by Megan McEwen. Megan set her career record in points, rebounds, and assists against York College the other day, Arthur.
Yeah, so the freshman really coming on strong here. A nice steal and a good look to Robisky to get the Dolphins on the board here. And tough move in traffic there from Meller. She will find her way to the line for Medgar Evers' first free throws of the day.
Yeah, so the Cougars get an opportunity to go for the line as Robinski is going to pick up her first and the team's first here in the second quarter.
So it'll be Meller at the line here, the freshman guard, 5'4" out of Springfield Gardens in Brooklyn. First is no good.
Yeah, you take a look at this Cougar lineup, Arthur, and like most CUNYAC teams, they're looking for size.
Yeah, that's right. The tallest, let's see here, is a 5'8" freshman, Elizabeth Figueroa, number 10. Then 5'7", and then it drops off to 5'4" after that. So the Dolphins in the same boat, you could say, also lacking for size a bit, but today that doesn't seem to be an issue, obviously. So on the offensive end, Dolphins working it around the horn. McEwen will take the three. A little bit strong, but a good look. She's had a few good looks, hasn't able to get a go yet.
Yeah, I just want to mention Daniela Zappolo checking into the game for the Dolphins. So she gets an opportunity for a little playing time as well. And she also played well in the game against York College on Saturday.
Yeah, a lot of good things from the bench on Saturday, highlighted by McEwen, as you mentioned. Some tough defense here from the Dolphins, not letting the Cougars penetrate. It's Davis now on the wing. Davis with the shot. It is strong and pulled down by McEwen, who will look to start the break. Nice find for DiMancho in the corner, and her three is good.
Yeah, Leno also had 11 to set her career high in the game as well, and she looked good from the outside, and she hits her second shot opportunity there.
Yeah, there was a stretch on Saturday where DiMancho, I believe it was back-to-back possessions. She nailed a couple of threes. As down the other end, it's Simmons with a three-pointer herself. And the Cougars caught sleeping as DiMancho able to get in behind the defense for the layup and one.
Yeah, and, the Dolphins' inclination is always to push the ball forward. And, they've seen a couple of opportunities to go over the top against the Cougars, and they were able to do it on that last possession.
Yeah, and yet another advantage the Dolphins do have is the roster size. So these Cougars have seen heavy minutes. Most of them have been in for the majority of the 15-plus minutes we've seen. The Dolphins, these players have not been on the court until the second quarter, so a little bit fresher, able to get out on the break and convert the layup. The N1 no good. So it remained 36-7 as Destiny Simmons will bring it up for the Cougars yet again.
Dolphins 2 of 7 from the free throw line.
Taking her time, calling out a play as Croft here checks in, but an errant pass from Simmons finds its way to McEwen. DiMantro, can she make it 2 in a row? Not this time. Rebound Simmons.
Second steal of the quarter for McEwen.
So no hurry here for the Cougars. They're looking to get into their sets. Very deliberate. Dolphins 2-3 zone providing plenty of resistance here. And Simmons in the corner with the entry pass to Miller. She can't get it to go, but it's pulled down by Figaro. McEwen looking for another steal. And trying to avoid the backcourt there was Croft. Throws it right to Zerpala. McEwen's 15-footer no good. And the Cougars will walk it up again.
Cougars playing much better this quarter, Arthur, as you mentioned a couple of times, both teams with 7 points.
So there'll be no shutout first half for the Dolphins. That's a little bit too much to ask, though, I think, even for this team, Mike. And we've got a substitution timeout here. It'll be Wojcika checking in for DiMantro.
So Tina gets her first action of the evening. 3:04 remaining here in the first half.
Got a whistle here. I didn't catch that one, Mike.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the official called. Oh, I don't think the shot clock moved. So it'd actually be a break for the Dolphins as they'll get to maintain possession.
So I believe all 13 Dolphins that are suited up have now made their way into the contest today with that final substitution of Wojcika. And McEwen will start the offensive possession, finding Zerpolo on the wing. Her skip pass. Great ball move from the Dolphins here as the Medgar Evers defense is really being stretched. Wojcika can't get the layup to go. And the Cougars walk it up. Still sitting in that 2-3. It's McEwen and Wojcika at the top. Davis looking to create on the wing. She gets it back. And her jumper is good. So Davis now with 4 points. I believe both of her field goals coming from that same spot on the left wing.
Yeah, nice smooth looking jumper there. She now has her second basket for the Cougars.
So McEwen at the top of the arc. Finds Zerpolo, who walks on the drive.
Good defense that time by the Cougars, forcing the Dolphin turnover. So Dolphins with their 4th turnover of the game.
Not a bad number for just about almost through the first half. I think Coach Shanahan will be fine with that.
No, he'll think it's 4 too many, Alpha.
So it is Davis and Simmons with the back and forth at the top. Finally, Simmons lets the 3 go, and it is strong. Davis with the rebound. To White, whose 3 is good. So the leading scorer for the Cougars finds the twine there from deep.
And Cougars starting to get a little bit more confidence offensively, looking better on their outside perimeter game. So
it's now 14-7 in favor of the Cougars in the second period. We didn't expect that after the first quarter. But there's Mbesi cleaning up the glass to restore order.
Yeah, Dolphins continue their dominance, rebounding the basketball as Mbesi gets her first point of the evening.
Yeah, 21-15 the rebound count. 10 of those 21 for the Dolphins offensive boards. So it's Davis on the wing. She finds Simmons. McEwen providing some resistance. It's White going for back-to-back threes. This time a little bit too quick with the trigger, Mike.
Yeah, you know, that time she couldn't hit the shot and Cougars knocked the ball out, Dolphin basketball.
So it's McEwen with the risky pass into Bitar, and Bitar, the sophomore, could not come down with the down low, so that'll be the 5th turnover.
Yeah, and, the Dolphins have been trying that all game long, Arthur. That time the pass a little too high over the top.
All right, so we got 1 or 2 more possessions here. See if the Cougars go for a 2-for-1. It's White on the wing, creating off the dribble. Good move. Couldn't get the floater to go, but she'll find her way to the line for 2.
Yeah, both teams with just 2 team fouls this quarter. That foul's going to be on McEwen. That will be her first, and that will send Cindy White to the free throw line to shoot 2.
So White, a 5'7" junior, listed as a center forward, is the leading scorer with 12.5 points per game for these Cougars. Also pulls down just under 7 rebounds per contest. Today she's got 5, as you can see on your screen here.
And she's a good free throw shooter, shooting at 70%.
So McEwen walks it up. See if the Dolphins try to hold for 1 with just a 3-second differential between shot and game clock. Wojcicka takes the 3. She hits it. So they don't hold for 1, but they get 3 points, Mike.
Yeah, smooth looking jump shot from the outside. Our first point to the game.
So what should be the final possession of the game here. Simmons brings it up for the Cougars. Takes her space, finds White. White tries to break the double team there. Gets called for the travel, so the Dolphins will have 4 seconds to get up one final shot. And McEwen will not look to do so. She is content with the 41-15 halftime lead. A pretty good showing from the Dolphins, although second quarter actually 15-12 in favor of the Cougars. Overall, pretty comfortable scoreline for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think Coach Shanahan will be satisfied with what he saw in that first quarter. The Dolphins played good swarming defense out of their starters, got off to an early lead, took control of this game early, and will look to continue that play in this second half.
Yeah, so only the 6 Medgar Evers players that dressed all did see some action, as we see a replay here. This is going to be that Wojcicka 3 from the wing. Nothing but net for the Dolphins' final 3 points of the quarter and the half. So we'll see if we can get someone from the Dolphins coaching staff to give us a word here before they head into the locker room. Trying to signal them down, not always easy, as they've got a lot on their mind at this point. And it looks like Coach Shanahan will join us for a brief few words here. As you see, we've got a younger team here at halftime to get a little exhibition game. So Coach Shanahan, very nice, fulfilling his contractual obligations, as he said, here to join us at halftime. So Timmy, you got to just getting those headsets set.
Now I can hear you.
All right, so we're in action. So that first quarter, you held them scoreless. Dave was saying the first time since you've gone to quarters instead of halves that you've had a scoreless quarter. So what are your thoughts on that accomplishment?
Well, I told the girls to come out and play the way they have to. Typical coach stuff that no matter who you play, it doesn't make a difference. Anything can happen, and you go out and play. We work a certain way. This is the way I want you to play, and they did exactly what I asked them to do. And I can't ask any more than that. Second quarter, this is what happens when you put your subs in and you explain, and they're going to hear about it right now when I walk in the locker room, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was my next question. So the first quarter, the 29-0. Second quarter, actually, the Cougars outscored you guys 15-12. So
yes, they did.
What'll be that message in the locker room?
I don't know what doesn't translate from practice to a game, but you better understand there's a reason, and Gino Auriemma said it the other night, there's a reason why 6 or 7 always play and 6 or 7 sit. It's just about effort. It's thinking when you get out there that, and I'm not looking to give homilies right now or anything like that, but there's a reason why some play and some don't, and they should know better, quite honestly.
All right, I'm going to get you out of here on this one, Timmy. You got a nice week off after this one. You got 3 kind of a home stretch of conference games where if you guys win out, you guys will obviously be regular season champs. So what are you looking to do in that week off to get yourself ready for that?
Absolutely. I am dreading this week off because it's too much in between play, and I'm not happy about it. I'd rather have had another game this week. Just really jammed but not just me, everybody in the conference up this 1 week off. I'm giving off tomorrow. We're back at work Thursday, Friday, and we really got to work. And because next Tuesday night is senior night. And Hunter's tough to begin with, but it's an emotional night, not only for the girls, for me. And it's a tough night. And then we go back on the road to Brooklyn. Then you got a Saturday morning game, literally, at Lehman. Although it's a noon start, we're out of here at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and there's no excuses. You know, and they're going to have to do what they got to do. I called it Hell Week for them already. So next week's Hell Week, and they better be prepared. And if we're not, they're going to learn a valuable lesson.
Thanks very much, Tim.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the time.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, so that was Dolphins head coach Tim Shanahan. Obviously very pleased with that 29-0 explosion in the first quarter. None too pleased with the work of the substitutes in the second, so I'm sure he'll have some words at the half.
Yeah, it should be an interesting halftime for the Dolphins, who have taken a comfortable control in this game, but lots of basketball coming up ahead.
Yep, and we'll bring that to you very shortly. For now, we will step aside with 13 minutes left in the halftime here. So it's 41-15 at the conclusion of the first half here at the Tank. We'll be back with more Dolphins basketball here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules. You tell me to stay away from drugs. To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome, I think we're breathtaking, and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that Bran? Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together.
Go to GetSchooled.com for more info.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
And we're back here at the Tank at the half. 41-15 Dolphins is your score. And we'll just give you a little bit of a regroup here on what we've seen so far. You got your halftime stats on your screen. So you see the Dolphins really shooting well from the field, 17 of 36. Not quite as accurate from the three-point line, although they have gotten 5 to fall. 7 trips to the line. So the three-point percentage and the free throw percentage, Mike, something to work on in the second half maybe.
Yeah, Arthur, I'm sure those are numbers that head coach Tim Shanahan would like to improve. And, he's also going to look for improved play in the second half out of his non-starters. But overall, you have to be really satisfied with the way the Dolphins came out and played here in the first quarter. They went out, they took a dominant lead. They were able to force a whole group of Cougar turnovers, take early control of this game, and really never look back. And, here in the second half, the Dolphins' final 20 minutes of basketball for the next week. We'll probably see the starters for a little bit of the third quarter, Arthur, and then the subs will get the rest of the game. And then, as head coach Shanahan said during his interview, the Dolphins will get ready for Hell Week as they'll finish the regular season 3 CUNYAC rivals in what will determine the regular season CUNYAC champion.
That's right, and take a look at the Dolphins' individual box score here. So the 5 starters did play the entire first quarter. They were paced by Pasaturo's 9 points, and Flecker and Price each with 8. Tadaro with 4 assists leads the way along with Price and McEwen, who also had 4. And speaking of McEwen, her and Nicole and Bessie both played 10 minutes the duration of the second quarter. But we have seen, as I mentioned, all 13 Dolphins that are suited up have played. 8 of those 13 have scored. So we'll see if the rest can get on the board in the last half here, Mike.
Yeah, again, the Dolphins will come out here in the second half, and we look for them to try to get off to a strong start. The starters will play for whatever amount of time head coach Tim Shanahan wants them to play here in the second half. And then, the second group of players will get to come in. And, again, if you're head coach Tim Shanahan, you're kind of looking to see the starters do exactly what they did in the first half and hopefully get some of the players in the non-starters to play a little bit better.
Yeah, and as you see the Cougars here warming up on your screen, so 3 Cougars have played the entire 20 minutes of the first half. That would be Davis, Simmons, and Meller. And Cindy White, who played 18 of the 20 minutes, actually is leading the way in scoring with 6 points. We've got 14 turnovers, though. That's really been plaguing the Cougars throughout this game as the Dolphins' defense, particularly in that first quarter, has really been putting them to the test. So we see here the Dolphins in the huddle. Looks like the starters will be back in the lineup as Coach Shanahan delivers his final words before we start the second half.
Yeah, and again, the Dolphins, their last game in the next week, and you heard head coach Shanahan, not necessarily his preference, but, again, it's something that you got to play the cards that you dealt, and, you won't be able to play games, but you will have an opportunity to practice.
Yeah, that's right, and I'm sure he'll be putting them through some tough work in practice to keep them sharp for that really important span of 3 games. And it is the starters for the Dolphins back out on the floor, and we'll see if they play the whole third quarter as they did in the first in that 29-0 blowout.
And we should mention, Arthur, that the men's basketball team that's been struggling here a little bit as of late will be back in action about a half hour or so after the conclusion of this game as they face a Medgar team. And, like the York team that the Dolphins faced over the weekend, Arthur, coming in with just 3 conference wins. But when you get these 2 teams together, you could throw all that out. And if the Dolphins don't come out and play a much better game than they did against York College, they're going to find themselves on the side of the scoreboard they're not going to like.
Yeah, looking forward to that game. And as we saw with York, as Pasatore with the early steal here, as we saw with York on Saturday, even though the Dolphins had an easy time the first time around, beating the Cougars by 30, no guarantees in men's CUNYAC basketball.
And that was a close game in the first half, Arthur, that the Dolphins were able to pull away in the second half. We'll talk about that one a little bit later.
Yeah, so back to third quarter action here, and it is Simmons for the Cougars. Down to Davis. Nice crossover on Price. She goes up, can't get it to go. And that'll roll out of bounds, Dolphins ball.
Yeah, nice crossover dribble that time, but Angelique still creating enough problems defensively. Shot goes short, Dolphin basketball.
So it's Cray walking it up for the Dolphins as the starters get back into the rhythm. Finding Price. Cross court to Passatura. Her open three is no good. Rebounded by Price, and the Dolphins will reset with Cray.
Pass it to Christina now, 3 of 8 from the three-point line.
More quick ball movement. This time it's Price. Her three no good. Tadaro cannot chase it down. It'll go back to the Cougars. And it'll be Simmons to inbound as they continue their deliberate pace. Dolphins dropping back to a little bit of pressure, but not until picking up at half court here for Cray. Simmons off the dribble. Gets a screen from White. Finds the roller. White goes up. No good on the drive. Screened out by the referee, but the Cougars did get that one to go.
Yeah, that was a nice looking play that time. An offensive rebound by the Cougars. A rare offensive rebound, only their 4th of the game.
And Passatura for 3. She finds her form once again, getting the Dolphins on the board in this third period.
Passatoro leading all scorers for the Dolphins. She now has 13.
So it'll be Simmons again running the point for the Cougars. Cray denying the entry to White. And it will stay here. Oh, sorry, I believe that was Flecker on the denying the entry pass there. So 3 points on the board for the Dolphins, just 2 for the Cougars in this third period. As Simmons with the deep three, no good. Tadaro with the nice box out. She'll start the break. Long pass finds Flecker, who will slow things down and take the open three and hit. Flecker on the board. Dolphins 47-17.
So Flecker hits the second of 2 consecutive three-pointers for the Dolphins. She now has 11. Passatore with 14. And the Dolphins opening up their lead.
And right after that three, Flecker causing the turnover with a little pressure, forcing Simmons to go backcourt to retrieve the loose ball.
Yeah, the Cougars offense has much more trouble operating when the Dolphin first-team defense is out on the floor.
That's for sure. Here's Passatura with her three. Off the back iron. And the rebound pulled down by Davis. A little bit of Dolphin pressure. Forces a loose ball. And Passatura looks like she might have saved that one for the Cougars there. It was going out of bounds, would have been Dolphin ball.
And Dolphins have already put up 25 three-pointers here this afternoon, Arthur.
And there's
7
one of
of
them.
25.
There was Flecker with one of those 7 three-pointers. So it'll be Simmons. Cray with a little bit of pressure on top of the arc. White going to work on the dribble drive. Her floater no good. Fight for the rebound, pulled down by Tadaro. She's got Price if she wants it. Takes it herself and makes the simple pass to Flecker. Smart play there by Tadaro, not making the risky pass up front.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful play, Arthur, by a big player running down the center of the floor. Beautiful dish for the layup. So nice play that time by Tadaro as she picks up the assist for the Dolphins.
Tadaro, the Dolphins' leading assister tonight. She's got 5 with that one. So White looks to create here for the Cougars. She drives around past Turo. Can't get the floater to go, and it's Flecker coming the other way. Drives past a few Cougars, takes it herself, and she's fouled on the take. Flecker to the line for a pair.
Yeah, so Flecker having a strong offensive game for the Dolphins as you have an opportunity to see Tadaro take the ball from coast to coast. A beautiful look-away pass into Flecker, who lays it up and in. And look at Tadaro's line off the 2 of 2 from the field, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals and a block, and that's a great line for Tadaro here tonight.
Yeah, really the total package. I mean, there's plenty of scoring punch to be had with her fellow starters, so she's really content to facilitate things, get some rebounds, and not to mention she just have 4 points too, so she's really filling up the stat sheet. Gotta be happy with that performance from Tadaro as Flecker gets ready for her second. And that'll help the Dolphins' poor free throw shooting numbers, 3 for 9 now. Slowly but surely getting back to a respectable number from the stripe. Here's Cray with some ball pressure. It's Davis on the dribble. A little stagnant offense here. The Dolphins pressure getting to the Cougars. In the corner, it is Croft. Her three no good, taken down by Figaro. And the Cougars look to reset, but it's going to go back court. Wisely touched there by Croft so that the Dolphins couldn't break.
The Cougars doing a little bit better on the offensive glass. That's their second offensive rebound in the last couple of sequences, but they turned the ball over on the backcourt violation.
Some quick passes from the Dolphins. It'll be Tadaro. Her little baby jumper is good from the baseline. Nice move there, getting the ball around, really keeping the Medgar Evers heads on a swivel.
Yeah, another nice job that time by Tadaro.
So the starters for the Dolphins remain in as we near the halfway point of this third quarter, and it is White for the Cougars with the drive and score. Coming the other way, great move there by Cray. Had a couple of Cougars running into themselves, and she breaks free for the easy deuce.
Yeah, so Victoria able to get on the scoreboard for the Dolphins. Just over 5:15 left in the third quarter.
And that was Cray and Price on the pressure up top. Cougars get it down low, but the ball is free. Tadaro comes down with it, and it'll fall to Cray. And Fucker is fouled by White as she started to lead the break.
Yeah, so it's been a relatively foul-free game here this afternoon as you get an update in the fourth quarter. Brooklyn having their way with CCNY, so Dolphins aren't going to be getting any help from the Beavers here tonight, Arthur.
Yeah, just a strong performance there from the Bulldogs to cement their one-loss record. Although with the win tonight, the Dolphins will remain in first place in the standings. Ooh, we got a little action. A nice block there from Davis on Pasaturo. Nonetheless, the Dolphins recover, and Tadaro takes care of business on the second chance with the layup. So Medgar Evers not giving up here. Nice effort on the defensive end to stop Pasaturo, but they couldn't get the turnover. And down the other end, Medgar Evers puts down an easy deuce.
Nice interior pass that time for the Cougars for some points inside the paint.
And Pasaturo making amends for that earlier block, getting to the line for an easy deuce, this time high off the glass.
She leads all scorers now with 16 for the Dolphins.
And that slow, deliberate build-up play continues from the Cougars with Simmons, who's doing a lot of work on her own here, and too much, but it's going to work out for her. Oh, she almost gets the layup to go, but in the end it is White off the rebound. So Simmons on a little bit of an adventure there, ends up with the layup, can't get it to go, but White cleans it up. And now it's White with the board on the defensive end. She'll find Simmons, and we're going to have a timeout here. 30-second timeout from the Cougars, so we'll stay right here as you see Coach Shanahan speaking to his starters who have gotten a pretty good run here in this third period.
Yeah, you know, they come out, they played well, Arthur. They're getting pretty good shooting here in the third quarter, and, you know, they're playing from way out in front, and, you know, I think some of the play reflects that, but good job by the Dolphins here. They continue to expand their lead with 3:39 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, so it's 17-8 advantage for the Dolphins here in this third period. As you see, the Dolphin starters will remain on the floor for these final 3.5 minutes of the third period. Medgar Evers, some intense coaching going on from Delroy Ennis, so I'm sure he's been encouraged by the renewed effort here from his Cougars.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, they're coming out and they're continuing to play hard, and you got to give them a lot of credit. They fell behind early, but they're working hard and doing the best they can and playing pretty well here against a very good Dolphin team here in the third quarter.
So it's White looking to create from the top of the arc. Takes one dribble and Fucker with a lot of pressure here. Causes the turnover. Tadaro with the easy steal. Finds Pasaturo with a fast break layup. Nice work there from the Dolphins on the break.
Yeah, nice quick turnover there by the Dolphins leads to another basket.
So the Fucker pressure, the Tadaro steal, and the Pasaturo lay-in leads to an easy two for the Dolphins. There's a good spin move there from Simmons, but she's called for the double dribble on the turn. Sharina Miller is going to check in for Davis for the Cougars, as Pasatoro gets set to inbound here on the near side. Here's a replay of that break to Dar with the steal. Nice look ahead to Pasatoro with the righty layup in traffic. And back to live action, it's Cray for three. No good, rebounded by Meller, who has just checked in.
Cougars doing a nice job defending the Dolphins. Dolphins with 19 points here in the third.
And it's Tadaro getting in the passing lane again. This time she knocks it loose, and it's Pasatoro on the break. She finds Flucker for the backdoor and one. Nice work again from the Dolphins, again taking advantage of some points off of turnovers.
Yeah, and, a nice move by Flecker. She's had a very efficient game for the Dolphins here tonight as well, and she'll go to the free throw line to attempt to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, and a very efficient 7 of 10 for Flecker, including 1 of 2 from three-point land. So she's really feasting on those close buckets, those bunnies, and she's not making any mistake. So she completes the N1. Dolphins lead expands to 40. As we see again that Pasatoro lay-in on the break earlier. So it's White, guarded by Flucker. Good entry pass there to Meller. Her drive is no good as it was Robisky checking in with the defense down low. White from deep, this time gets the deep 2 to go over Flucker.
Yeah, so Cindy White continuing to play a good game for the Cougars. She now is in double digits. She has 12.
Yeah, good look from Pasatoro there to Price, but she can't get the layup to go in traffic. And the Cougars will look to cut into this 38-point deficit. Once again, it is Simmons with Cray guarding. Passes over to Flucker. And White with a tough shot guarded by Price and Cray there. Can't get it to go. Wild shot. And Cray the other way now looks to create on the break. She turns it over to Meller, guarded by Pasatoro. And Pasatoro does just enough. Although the Cougars come down with it. And finally, well, not finally, I should say, it'll stay here as Pasatoro can't quite get the handle down low.
Nice bit of defensive pressure as you have an opportunity to see Tadaro again with that assist to Pasatoro, and then Victoria Cray putting up the three-pointer, and see the Cougars grabbing the rebound on the play.
So it'll be Meller here for the Cougars, finding Davis. Down low to White, checked by Flucker. In some traffic. A nice, powerful move there from White for the deuce.
Nice move by White on the play.
And it'll be Price to Cray. Some space there for Pasatoro. Her three is up and in. Too easy for the all-time CSI scoring leader.
Yeah, that's 5 3-pointers for Christina. She now has 19 for the Dolphins.
As we enter the final minute of the third period, likely the last minute of play for the starters. It'll be Davis off the dribble, poked loose, and Flucker comes down with it. Lead pass to Price. She goes up, and it's good. Once again, the Dolphins feasting off turnovers.
Yeah, nice little offensive burst by the Dolphins created by their defense.
Just a 1 second differential, nearly a steal there by Cray. Shot clock and game clock nearly identical here as Simmons pulls it out, guarded by Pasatoro near the halfway line. Nice crossover to find some space. And underhand pass, can't find Figaro, her target down low. And it'll be Pasatoro uncontested for the easy layup, putting her above the 20-point mark. She's now got 21, Mike.
Yeah, Dolphins explode for 7 points here in the last 45 seconds or so to close out the quarter.
So after 3, it is 70-27, and the Dolphins matching their first quarter offensive output, putting up 29 points there in the third period. So we'll step aside for a second, and we'll bring you back here with fourth quarter action as the Dolphins look to close out the Cougars here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
There's something delicious happening this season at Tim Hortons, and it's only 99 cents. Get a rich, decadent hot chocolate or creamy French vanilla for the sweet price of 99 cents. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
And we're back here at the tank for the start of the fourth quarter. The Dolphins taking the floor. We see most of that starting unit is going to remain in. We've got Robisky checking in for Tadaro. Other than that, it is the same starting lineup. So I guess Coach Shanahan was true to his words. He was not very pleased with that second quarter showing from the substitutes.
Yeah, you know, Arthur, I think it's that, and I think it's the fact that the Dolphins don't have another game for another week. So, you know, this is going to be the final opportunity for competition against anyone else besides other CSI Dolphin players in practice for the next week.
Yeah, so again, the same starting five, except Robisky checks in for Tadaro to start the fourth here. So we'll see how the starters can fare here, and we'll see if Passatoro can continue her assault on the CUNYAC all-time scoring record. It'll be Cray to get things started. A wide open Flucker in the corner. Working the ball around the horn. It'll be Cray for three. She's got it. Good start to the fourth here as Cray nails the straightaway three.
Victoria's second basket. She has 5.
So Davis walks it up. Finds White, who's been very active on the offensive end here lately. In the corner, it's Millers, checked by Passaturo. Davis working off the dribble, back to White. Should look to create on the drive. Goes up, in and out, and Passaturo brings it the other way. She finds Flucker on the wing. Her three off the rim and out. Good fight for the rebound there by Robisky, who just checked in for this fourth quarter. But it'll be the Cougars bring it down to the offensive end. Dolphins back in that 2-3 zone. Here's White with a nice find inside to Simmons. They're going to call that one on the ground, so no basket there for Simmons. It'll be an end-line inbounds for the Cougars.
So 2 quick team fouls for the Dolphins here in the fourth. Well, actually, that's their first, I should say.
And that was actually Davis on the drive. Simmons just checking back in now. So it's White with a quick trigger, and the 20-footer is good for the Cougars' leading scorer.
Yeah, she started to look pretty good offensively, 7 of 16 from the field.
Yeah, pacing the Cougars with 15 today. That is north of her average of 12.5 as Passaturo knocks down another 3 on the offensive end, putting her total up to 24.
Yeah, and 6 3-pointers, so another good offensive game for Passatoro here tonight.
Yeah, 6 of 13 from 3, really impressive numbers, and 10 of 30 overall for the Dolphins. So very respectable shooting from downtown after struggling early on. So White surveys at the top of the arc. She finds Figaro, and it'll be Simmons' 3. No good, rebound Flucker. Flucker with over-the-top pass to Passaturo. She had a couple options, but neither one was expecting it, and instead it is Davis the other way on Passaturo, nearly with the block, but Passaturo did enough to get the stop, and now we got a 4-on-3 for the Dolphins. Passaturo, another 3. This one's a little short. Rebound Robisky, and Cray will reset. Around the horn to Flucker, skip pass, finds Passaturo, wide open 3. Can't find the net again. And on the loose ball, Flucker with the hit on Davis.
Yeah, a little bit of a collision on that play as it will be Flucker as Samantha picks up her first personal of the evening and the second team foul on the Dolphins.
Yeah, so we see some more substitutes checking in now. So Cray now the only starter remaining in as we now have Perrone, McEwen, and Mbesi checking in for the Dolphins here. So let's see, the Dolphins now up by 47. We'll see how this second unit does. If they can at least hold this lead, I'm sure Coach Shanahan will be looking for that. As it's White, deflected by Perrone, and we've got Cray and McEwen on the floor. It's going to be a jump ball. Stays with the Cougars.
So the Cougars will have 12 seconds to shoot, 7:19 remaining in this contest.
So Davis on the inbounds. Finds White, who will drive on Rybisky and can't get the roll. Cray comes down with it and leads the break. Strong move from Cray, finds McEwen. Perhaps she wasn't expecting it in so much space. So she could not get it to go, but the Dolphins retain possession. McEwen again. And she'll pull it out under some pressure from the Cougars. Some tough defense there. That was Figaro, the freshman forward center, diving for the loose ball there. And she did make contact on the ball, but I think she also got a little bit of Rybisky on the entry pass. So she'll get whistled for the foul. Dolphins will inbound under the hoop. And it's McEwen in the corner. Cray with the look, pump fake, steps in and gets the deep 2 to go. Nice move there on the pump fake, sidestep, and then a wide open 20-footer. Cray nails it. Dolphins up 78-29 here in the fourth. It'll be Simmons running point. She finds White, who will look to drive into the paint. And we've got a foul on Cray on the drive.
Yeah, that time White tried to take the ball to the basket. She drew a double team, and Victoria Cray picks up her first personal.
And we'll have Serpolo checking in for the Dolphins, and Cray, the lone remaining starter, checks out. So we now have 5 substitutes on the floor for the Dolphins. And Serpolo checking in with the not a smart foul on Simmons in the corner. I think it was a deep 2, so she'll go to the line for a pair.
Yeah, and the Dolphins have done a good job all game long, Joan. Arthur, I'm sorry, not getting themselves into foul trouble, but here in this fourth quarter, they pick up their 4th personal team foul with 6:18 remaining.
Yeah, so a little wake-up call there for Zapolo as she checks in to the game for the final 6:18. As the first is up and in by Simmons. So it will be a 3-shot foul after all, as Meller checks in for White. So we'll see where the offense comes from now that leading scorer White is checked out. All right, so Perone pulls down the rebound, and Mbesi will look to set it up for the Dolphins here in the home stretch of this one. It's McEwen on the wing. She finds Zerpolo. Mbesi to Perone. Back to Mbesi. And she'll be whistled for a travel on the drive.
And in third quarter action, Lehman with a 13-point lead against the Bearcats. So the Bearcats doing a nice job. They're an improving team as well, Arthur, but Lehman finds themselves out in front by 13 in the third quarter.
Yeah, and Lehman did give this Dolphin team a pretty stern test here at the Tank earlier in the season. So they have not slowed down from that, and they'll be looking forward to their rematch with the Dolphins. As Mbesi brings it up, finds McEwen in the corner, right back to Mbesi. She'll switch it over to Zerpolo. Perone down low. Some good ball movement from the Dolphins here around the horn. Finally, McEwen in the corner. Can't get it to go. Davis corrals for the Cougars. Dolphins sitting back, content to keep the Cougars out in front. And the Cougars content to work their way into the possession slowly. It is Croft for 3, and she hits from outside.
Nice look at three-pointer by Tamara Croft.
So that three-point shooting, Medgar Evers having a tough time from beyond the arc, but that one gets it to go 3 for 12 on the day for the Cougars.
Yeah, Dolphins with 32 three-pointers already, Arthur, 10 of 32 here tonight.
Yeah, well, we all know about the analytics saying 3s are worth more than 2, so can't fault the Dolphins for wanting to take those long-range shots. As it's another turnover, so 2 similar turnovers in quick succession on the travel as the Dolphins try to try to drive and create on the offensive end.
Dolphins now with 11 turnovers, 6 in the second half after committing 5 in the first.
The deep three from Simmons, no good. That was almost a Steph Curry stop and pop from deep. Can't get it to go, and Mbesi will inbound for the Dolphins.
And the Cougars doing better on the offensive glass. We mentioned, Arthur, they now have 7 offensive rebounds on the night.
So some quick end-to-end stuff here. Dolphins can't get the jumper to fall, as the Cougars bring it up with 4:20 to play here in the game. Serpol with some good pressure on the wing. Davis resets up to Miller up top. And it's Simmons on the wing. Lazy pass picked up by Zerpolo. She finds McEwen, whose layup is good.
Nice offensive play by the Dolphins. Another set of points in the paint. The Dolphins outscoring the Cougars in the paint 42-10 here
And
this afternoon.
McEwen after the layup with the steal. She'll go up again. This time can't get the layup, but she will get a trip to the line. So good work from McEwen on these past few possessions.
Yeah, you know, Megan playing a little bit better. She struggled a little bit from the floor here today, but doing well in other areas of the game. Now we'll have an opportunity to go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, so only the 2 points from McEwen that you just saw make that 3. But in addition to that, she's got 2 boards, 4 assists, and 3 steals. So a nice all-around game off the bench from McEwen.
She's only been to the line 7 times this year, Arthur, but 6 of 7 from the free throw line is Megan.
Checking in for the Dolphins is Wojcika and DiMantro. As the second free throw, no good. Rebounded by Simmons, who will run point. So it's DiMantro and McEwen up top, and an unforced turnover there, handing the ball right back to the Dolphins.
So the Cougars turn the ball over for the 12th time here in the second half.
Here's McEwen. Finds a wide open Zerpolo. Plenty of space, and her 3 just short. Taken down by Miller. And the Cougars aren't looking to break. Will reset and run the offense on their end here. Simmons pulls it out. Finds White in the corner. Her dribble drive, stop and pop. She gets the friendly roll here at the tank. And 1 for Cindy White.
Yeah, so Cindy it continues to play better and better for the Cougars. She had 6 points in the first half, now 12 in the second half for the Cougars.
Can't get the N1, but the rebound is loose. We've got a scrum on the floor here, and it's McEwen walking away with it. 2 Cougars still down as the Dolphins break. And DiMantro's pass batted away, so a break there for the Cougars as they'll be able to reset.
Nice job that time by the Cougars, though, defending 5 Dolphins with 3 players knocking the ball out of bounds, and now the Dolphins will have to inbound with 18 on the shot clock.
Weak side pass to Wojcika. Her jumper no good. McEwen tears down the rebound, and she'll reset here. See what the Dolphins can do here. Last 3 minutes, you want to execute, end on a good note. No good from McEwen as White comes down with the board. Dolphins looking to close strong here as they'll be idle for a week here, and that's a nice poke away from McEwen, but the Cougars are able to come up with the loose ball. And it's Simmons. McEwen again with the aggressive defense, really causing a lot of trouble here for the Cougars on the perimeter. And it'll be Davis for 3. Swish. Good look there from Davis. Found some space after McEwen was really pressuring the Cougars ball handlers. Voiga kicks out to DiMantro. And McEwen barks out the play call from the top of the arc. It's Zerpolo back to McEwen. Dolphins go around the horn into Bitar, whose jumper no good. Rebounded by Figaro for the Cougars. And it's White looking to break here. She gets around DiMantro. And a nice move baseline, getting around a few Dolphins defenders there for the deuce.
Yeah, another nice move by White. She now has 20 of the 40 Cougar points.
DiMantro, her 3 is no good. Fight for the boards is won by McEwen, and her follow is good. So nice work from McEwen down low in the land of the Giants.
Yeah, so Megan gets her second basket of the game for the Dolphins.
All right, coming up on a minute to play here. 83-40 your score as the Dolphins doubling up on the Cougars. Dolphins defense content to lay back here. And it was Davis down low who can't get the layup to go.
Good D there by the Dolphins. 4 seconds to shoot by the Cougars.
And we've got a full timeout here called by the Cougars to go over some last-minute instructions. So with that, we'll take a quick break and we'll return for the final 50 seconds of play here at the Tank.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-one physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
And we're back here at the Tank for the closing moments of this women's basketball contest. Mike, similar to what we saw from York on Saturday, obviously this game's out of hand, but Coach Ennis for the Cougars wants to go over some things and make sure his team gets out of here playing the way he wants.
Yeah, coaches never stop coaching, Arthur, and he's doing that there, but nice block by the Dolphins to force the shot clock violation.
Yeah, so they did get it into White down low. Probably was worked on out of the timeout, but the block forcing the shot clock turnover. Nice defense by the Dolphins there as McEwen brings it up for what will likely be the final Dolphins offensive possession, or at least the final shot of the game. It's Serpoa for three. Short and rebounded by White. Simmons walks it up. Guarded by Vojka. Now in the corner, it's Davis. Finds Simmons. On the dribble drive, poked away by McEwen, but she's whistled for the foul.
Dolphins will be over the limit, so that'll be 2 free throws coming up here for the Cougars. 22.7 seconds remaining in the game. See the nice stat line of Diana Tadero flashed up on your scoreboard there.
So first one, no good, and the free throw woes continue for the Cougars, now just 2 of 10 from the line on the day. And Simmons' second free throw up and in. And that should do it as the Dolphins can run this one out with 20 seconds to play. And it looks like they will do just that. So got to be happy with the result. They came out strong. Second half was strong. Other than that little blip in the second period, pretty good day for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it certainly was, Arthur. Dolphins cruise once again.
So that'll do it here from the Tank as the CSI Dolphins get the win over the Medgar Evers Cougars, 83-41, highlighted by a defensive shutout pitched in the first quarter. The first shutout since NCAA women's basketball has switched over from halves to quarters. So a very impressive feat for the Dolphins, and one that I'm sure will go down in the record books. So in the postgame here, we'll see if we can get a word with Diana Tadaro, our player of the game here.
Yeah, and once again, Arthur, a nice all-around effort by the Dolphins. They left this game without any doubt very early on as they cruised to victory here today. And we mentioned just 3 games remaining in the regular season for the Dolphins, so a lot of big basketball coming up here over the after the Dolphins get a 1-week break in the schedule. They'll be back in action. Their final conference home game will be against Hunter College, and then they're going to wrap things up on the road against Brooklyn College first and then Lehman College. No room for error for the Dolphins as Diana Tadero slowly makes her way over to the floor. And another great effort here by Diana as she'll come over, Arthur, and I'll turn it over to you.
Sure. Great game, Diana. Congrats on the win.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming over to chat for a bit. So, first question to you, having two of these great scorers in Christina and Samantha to really carry the load scoring for you guys, you kind of take a role facilitating and rebounding and playing defense. So how does having those two great scorers really impact how you're able to come in and play your game?
Well, we got a great group of girls. We really know how to work the ball together, and with everybody just doing their job, and it's just great, like, having these group of girls and them, like, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous right now. It's my first time doing this.
Yeah,
but,
you had a great game. You deserve to be here.
Just like having them as a team and everyone doing their part and knowing their role. That's it. We just all work together, and that's how we make it.
Okay, and of course we all saw your ability right from the beginning when you were coming off the bench, but now obviously with the injury to Jackie Calla, you've been able to start, and you're putting up some great stat lines like you did today. So how has the switch from a bench role to a starting role affected you?
Well, like just watching Jackie when she was starting five, I watched everything that she did, and she taught me a lot off the bench. So coming in and with everyone's support, it really got me going, and I'm really comfortable here, and I love it.
And we'll get you out of here on this one. So Coach Shanahan referred to the upcoming week and your three CUNY matches that you have, or your three CUNY games coming up as Hell Week. So I'm sure he's got a lot of hard stuff in store for you at practice. As a player, how do you view the time off leading into those three big games?
Well, we're still going to be working. It's not really time off. We're going to be I'll probably be in the gym trying to get some shots up. But we got some really good teams coming up next week, and we're really excited.
Thanks, Diana. We appreciate the time.
Thank you very much, guys.
So that was Diana Tadaro, who had a great game today, really filling up the stat sheet as you saw there. Doing some stuff on the offensive end, facilitating defensively with plenty of steals, and really having a couple of great look-ahead outlet passes to start a couple of fast breaks.
Yeah, and one of the things that Diana has really added to this CSI Dolphin team has been a physical presence. First it's been off the bench, Arthur, and now it's been as a starter. You look at a line today, 4-4 from the field, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 7 steals. So a great game for Diana Tadero, who really only played about 17 or 18 minutes off for the game.
Really impressive stuff. A super efficient 4-4 from the field. She's flirting with the quadruple double there with those 8 points and the 7s across the board on the steals, rebounds, and assists. So we'll get a quick look at the final stats here before we step aside and get ready for some men's action upcoming here. So what sticks out to you here in the box score, Mike?
Yeah, you look at the Dolphins, and they came out and they played a solid game. The game was never in doubt. They shot just under 46% from the field, hit 10 of 35 of their free throws. They got a lot of time off of their starters, a lot of opportunity for a lot of different plays to play, and they go on to victory here today.
Yeah, so a comfortable win for the Dolphins. And with that, we will step aside and get you ready, as you see on your screen here, for men's basketball action against Medgar Evers College, coming up at approximately 7:30 p.m. Should be a good one for the men, so we look forward to that starting soon. So thank you for joining us for this women's broadcast, as the Dolphins are able to get the win over Medgar Evers College. We hope to see you soon for the men's broadcast here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.